really is incredible that the primary is just a handful of weeks away. Early voting has been going on for more than 2 weeks. Have you early voted? Have you taken in all of the different choices there are on each ballot? Remember, you can only pick one, the Republican ballot or the Democrat ballot. And if you live in the 13th Congressional District, you've got choices on each ballot. You're actually going to be hearing about some of that later on tonight in a forum with both parties and multiple candidates from each party for the 13th Congressional District. One of the several Republicans running for the GOP nomination for the new 13th Congressional District joins me now. Terry Martin with WMAY. Terry, thanks for taking time. You are a member of the media. You helped with Illinois Channel, launching that and fostering that over several years. And now here you are deciding to run for Congress. Why?
You know, Greg, after so many years of covering the issues and being steeped in it, I mean, it's like grad school, as you well know. When you're there, you pick up a heck of a lot more information on a variety of issues than the average person who's, doing their day job. And I just saw the country spinning out of control with things that are just absolutely insane. And as we are talking today, I just saw on the news there's a caravan coming up again to the border that's something like 30 miles long. Crime is exploding. We have prosecutors across the country that aren't prosecuting. And you just say, I'm living in the twilight zone. So, I'm kind of calling myself a Republican first responder. I just couldn't stand back anymore and watch the building burn down.
So, Terry, what do you see as some of the main issues? You brought up immigration. You brought up crime. People right now driving by gas pumps, seeing that we've got fuel through record prices. Even in Illinois, with the taxes on top of taxes on top of taxes, we're nearly $1 more on average than the state of Missouri's fuel average. What about the economy? What can be done about some of these crucial issues that you've already laid out there, from crime to immigration and even the economy?
The number one issue here is oil and energy, and we have a bunch of ideologues in the White House with Joe Biden and his radical Democratic Party there. If we go back and drill oil, we're down about 3 million barrels a day. And they're always trying to blame it on Putin. Everyone knows oil prices started going up long before Putin went into Ukraine. The good news is we and the United States, along with Canada, a great partner, we can be energy independent and protect our economies from whatever foreign affairs disrupts the energy flow. So that would bring down, oil, because everything is delivered. So oil is a price multiplier. When we bring it down, it's going to be like a tax cut. It's going to keep more money in people's pockets. They obviously are feeling the reverse now, both at the pump and at the grocery store. So this is a national security issue. This is not just an inconvenience.
Terry Martin joins us. He is one of several Republicans vying for the GOP nomination for the 13th Congressional District. I do want to talk about the issue of the new Congressional District and if you think that a Republican can capture that. But still on the issues here, let's focus on something else that's going to be in the spotlight later on this week, Terry. And surely you've been following it ever since it happened. But the January 6th Commission, what's your take on this? And was there an insurrection January 6th?
For the background of the listeners, I used to be with C-SPAN covering Congress, so I know the drill up on Capitol Hill. This is political theater. The Democratic Party knows they're going down. This is intellectual diversion. No, there wasn't an insurrection. And we just had last night on Hannity's show interviews with the former White House chief of staff under Trump and others, and they were saying how they were willing to send out before January 6th the National Guard, protection for the Capitol and others, because there were going to be a lot of people coming in, and those requests were turned down. So this is Nancy Pelosi trying to do what she can to drum up a straw man to attack Republicans, attack Trump. because she has no issue that's going to be working for her other than one she can manufacture.
7:44 now with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. I'm Greg Bishop. We're talking with Terry Martin, a member of the media who's now decided to run in the 13th Congressional District Republican primary. So another major issue that we're hearing a lot of is gun violence, not just what's happening in Chicago, right, with the story after story after story, but you've got shootings that are happening in Springfield, Peoria, Decatur, and elsewhere throughout the state. What can be done about this? What should the focus be when policymakers, like you're wanting to be, actually have debates about this stuff?
A couple of things. One of the realities that I would say, Greg, is, as I said the other night in a debate, we're running for Congress. We're not running for God of the universe. There's a limit to what Congress can do on any issues. Now, on school shootings, number one, we can certainly harden these schools. For the $40 billion we just sent to Ukraine, we could have ensured that every schoolhouse in the nation had appropriate locks on the doors, auto locks, security cameras. And we ought to be making sure that local police departments are training with the schools beforehand so that we don't have what we saw in Texas, cops standing around for an hour and not knowing the lay of the school. Every police department ought to have an outline, a blueprint of the schools, the hospitals, City Hall, so they know if something came up, where the shooter is, what location he is, and how they can go into the building and not be trying to make that up on the fly. That aside, we have a huge amount of societal issues. Something like 75% of all black babies are born out of wedlock. Now it's something like 30% of all white babies. We have a breakdown of the family. We have kids who are just being abandoned, and we're seeing a societal stew of violence, but also people who are just not been raised with the discipline that I was raised with, and many in previous generations were.
Terry Martin with us on WMAY. Terry, real quick before we get a couple of other issues here, how can people find out more information about you and your candidacy?
They can go to my website, terrymartinforcongress.com. If they want to write to me, they can email me at martinforcongress2022@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page that they can follow. And my Twitter, which I'm not as much of a Twitter guy, but it's at Terry Martin 2022.
Terry, the 13th Congressional District, if people haven't seen the map themselves, how would you best describe what the 13th Congressional District looks like and the areas that it picks up?
Along the Mississippi, it looks like a funnel, like a wide part of a funnel. It goes from Belleville over to Alton, taking in East St. Louis. And as it heads north to Springfield, it narrows. Then it becomes almost like a snake, this kind of long but thin. It goes up here to Springfield, then bends over, goes through Decatur, and over to take in Champaign-Urbana. The only county, there's 7 counties that are touched by the district. The only one that's entirely in the district is Macoupin County. But it's weird. I believe it's almost entirely surrounded by the 15th district. So.
It is. It's completely surrounded by the 15th district, and that's the district that incumbents Mary Miller and Rodney Davis were drawn into. But this district does seem to be, it picks up some of Alton, East St. Louis, Springfield, Decatur, Bloomington, not Bloomington, Urbana, I believe. But it also brings in a whole bunch of rural issues, rural sections of that district. Is it possible for a Republican to win this district?
Maybe if it were a normal year, you might say it might be problematic. But when people are spending $5 plus at the gas pump, when they're spending $6 a pound per hamburger, when they see crime out of control, the border wide open, when they see Afghanistan, the way we pulled out, didn't even consult with our allies and left $80 billion worth of ammunition there. They know in Washington we got the gang that can't shoot straight. And so it's enough. People that might normally vote Democratic are going to go, this is not what I bargained for. And when you have this kind of an economy, this kind of a social disruption, I think a lot of people are going to be voting on the Republican side this year.
Terry Martin, greatly appreciate your time this morning. Let's try to connect again soon within the next 3 weeks as we see the calendar quickly peel those days off to the June 28th primary. Early voting is underway right now, by the way, so you can go to the courthouse and you can actually cast a vote here in Sangamon County. And if you're not registered, you can register same day and vote early. So get all those options in front of you. Terry, greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you soon, all right?
Thanks, Greg. Take care.
It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.